So what we're working on tonight is from the edge of the rock in here to where it's kind of bedrock in there. I used the tractor, pulled out as much of the mud as I could, and then they want me to fill it in with gravel. I guess the crane where it sank into the mud there, they're saying they need to get that built up so that they can make it up this rock a little easier. So now that I dug that away, like right here, that's probably a 3-foot change in elevation, so I'm gonna have to build that up a whole bunch. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do is I dug into the low spot there a little bit, and I'm putting in one of these little pipes that, I mean, it's the only thing I have to use as culverts. And then I got joiners I got to get out of the shed, so that's 20 feet, and then I'll put a joiner, and that'll take me the remainder of the 20 feet to here, so it'll be 40 feet. And then that way I can come pretty much, well, I'd have to move that still, but come right in here and just fill this whole area with gravel. So hopefully it works. So we had to pick up our trusses because the lumberyard's truck is broken down. So this is what we managed to figure out. We got our 24-foot flat deck. We welded on, this is for the wheels or whatever, this little checkered stuff. Welded on 3-inch channel, hung it out the back by 10 feet, welded across, and hey, it worked. It didn't sag out too bad. It didn't break anything. So I still have the ladders I gotta go back for, but we're gonna borrow the forklift here, and we'll get it all unloaded, put it next to the house so it's ready for the crane. But yeah, it was pretty sketchy nonetheless. But we had our flag, so no one hit us. But yeah, just look at that. These are 35 feet long from end to end with your 2-foot overhang. So pretty scary. Right now they're welding on to the forklift. They're welding on 2 extensions, so that way we can reach all the way through the depth of this, because it's about 8 feet tall. And the pallet forks are only, I think, 40 inches. So we're welding on a whole bunch of square tube to hopefully lift these up. We're not sure what's gonna work or not. Beautiful sunset tonight. So, bring in materials. We got some lumber for the decks. We got another lift of lumber over there for the decks. We have roof trussing, ladders for the roof trussing, which is basically at the gable ends. They pre-manufacture the pieces that come out. Brought over a bunch of scrap boards for them. They have to, somehow, they're gonna take all the rafters, sort through them, and then assemble parts of it ahead of time. There's more rafters over there. We got our roof package. So 2x4s for bracing and stuff like that. And then this is for the roof. So we got that, and then actually we have a stack extra over there too that's left over. Bathtub's ready to go up. Let's take a look at what's inside. Inside, we have stairs. Those just came today. And we got those put in. That looks like it turned out nicely. Treads by design. Got those made up for us. They're slightly narrower than the opening, so we can run our drywall just straight down. Slide it in so you don't have to try and cut it to every single stair. That's a easier way of going about it. Not much has happened down here. This is all pretty much the same. Let's see what they're like. I haven't been on them yet. Ooh. Oh yeah. Beautiful. They have the upstairs walls all done. Man, I wish I had wide angle on this. So, office, bathroom. You have the catwalk you can see now. Door to bedroom number 1. We have built-in closets because they're better. Fairly decent sized rooms. Actually, let's duck through here. These are open just for access. This will be the second door for the second room. Same thing, built-in closet. These 2 rooms are the same. The one over there, I think, like I said before, a little bit smaller. And then you just get this nice view looking down below. So you can kind of imagine if that was our railing. It's gonna look so nice. So it is gonna be all open in here. This will be open all through there, through there. So the idea with that is we're hoping with it being more of an open volume to each one of the rooms, especially upstairs. With being off grid, we're hoping that that'll allow for more natural air circulation. And that window and directly across this window, they both open. So then that way we can get a nice breeze straight through and take the hot air out of the house. These ones obviously don't open, but can't get to them anyway. So next week, the roof trusses are going up, and that should be the next major stage. Oh, we did have, I'll zoom in here. We had a little mishap here. So those are the two bottom top plate, if that makes any sense, different heights. So somewhere along the line, these two walls were built about 5/8 of an inch shorter. So when we did our 2-story, now it's not the right height. So they are gonna add on all the way around the top some plywood just to shim that up. And then I believe, I don't know if they did yet, but they're gonna adjust this one window so it matches the height of that window, because of course now all the upstairs windows are at a different height by that amount. So these are the only two that you'll see, right? All the other ones in here, they're all gonna be the ones you see together, so you won't be able to tell. The only other one is that one and that one. But I think, or maybe they're gonna do the two windows just to make them the same height, but they're gonna get that fixed up. Then I think they're ready for the rafters. Beautiful morning again today. We got roof trusses going up. Some scaffolding. We got roof. I'm gonna crane up the two big chunks. Crane is here. Honestly, smaller crane than I thought it was gonna be. But that's the, he's parked right on top of all the gravel there that I put down for him to get in. And he's basically touching the back wall, like he's against the house to get him enough reach to get on top of the far side of the roof there. See how he has to sit so close to the house because the crane is kind of on the front side of the truck. So to get into the center of the roof at the height he needs to be pretty tight. But it's getting pretty windy, so we're just worried it's going to be too windy to crane and then they'll have to come back another day, which I really hope we don't have to. See just even that little bit of wind, it is moving. That's just the plywood. I mean, at least with this roof, the one wall that faces out, that could catch air. The rest of it should let most of the wind through it. So I think they're planning to just keep pushing through. First bit of rafters going up. Got plywood, got the shower in. They some of the stuff they've been roping, just to keep it from spinning once it gets up, because I guess he says once it gets up to the top of the roof there, that's where the wind hits, of course, once we get up high like that. So, and he's controlling it all from the ground there. He has to do it all like, you know, eye boom coordination or whatever you want to call it. Pretty amazing. But he's I think he's done this for basically forever, so we'll just let him do his thing. Main event now, the big roof. So they added blocking here, here, and here just to stiffen it all up. So I think they're gonna pull off of a few different points. So they got the bathtub in, they got the roof, the main section on. So what they did is, rather than hurricane ties or toenailing each one, we actually used GRKs. So it's a way stronger, way better way of doing it. So they just went right through with 5 1/8 and just boom, straight into the bottom side. So they're gonna just fire into all those. I'm not sure if they've done all of them yet. But yeah, then they gotta just get the next section on. The next section they're more worried about because it needs to come over, drop, and then slide in. And I believe that, focus, that one right there, it has to slide inside of it. Very precise. And the rest of this is just individual rafters, and then they're just gonna put them up as they go. So hopefully that all goes smooth. The wind died down just enough for us to get this on, so hopefully it stays down for the next piece. There's definitely a high degree of sketch factor, even with everything being professional. I mean, I have my fair share of sketchy, scary things, but yeah, it's a lot of money and a lot of weight just hanging up in the air.
Okay, that's good. I need to see that one because I was hoping to catch that one.
Yeah. This one is the one they're more worried about.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the other one they figured would be easy. This is the hard one.
Oh, there's the one that goes on the back side.
The back far side.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Kidding, if that hits the ground, eh?
Oh yeah. It's like I said to him there, I was like, man, that gets the heart racing when we lifted the big part. And he's like, no, nothing to worry about. No issue. He might be dropping it on the ground and then doing singles. He was talking about doing that maybe. The hook man. Hold the rope, hook it on the truss, crane it up there. You can kind of see, got a big aluminum hook there. So yeah, me down here, guy on the crane, one guy spotting, and then 2 guys nailing. We are almost done. We're getting the ladders. We got the other timber frame gable end thing up there. All the rafters are up. We're just battling wind at this point. See how much everything's flying around up there. Tough, but we're gonna get it. Good evening. So, now that the roof is on, next thing we got to do is get the decks in here. So, before we can do the decks, we had to put some trim on. So what we ended up doing for trim, or flashing over the concrete, is we measured the entire foundation, the concrete out, and we found that I believe it was 12 inches or 12 and a quarter was the widest point. So we got flashing made up at that width, and we went, it's 3 inches, 12 and a quarter I think, and then 2 3/4, and that makes it a standard size of tin, so we didn't have to go up to the next sizing. Here we have to cut out around the doorway still. Probably going to end up cutting it down, fold that down, and then put the door right on top of it. But we ended up putting it in, and I don't know if you can see, but we put it 1/2 inch higher in the back, so it is a 1/2 inch slope out and down just to get the rain to come off of it. We shot a whole bunch of butyl rubber sealant the whole way along. We put it at all the joints. We filled in where we don't have any tin there. And this is all going to get covered up with the tin siding when that gets put on here, so it'll all get sealed up really nice. And then we just added in a little bit of tin screws just to hold all the gaps together. But we had to do this side and then the other side there, just because that's where the decks are going to go in, and the supports for the deck are going to sit on top of this. So we're going to drill through and pin into the concrete itself, and then it'll be a floating deck and won't be attached to the house, and that way it's just a lot easier and it seals better, so we don't have to do a ledger board, nail in, and all that stuff. It'll be completely freestanding. This though, this little box here, this was the key to our success. So this here is the same size as what the profile of the tin is, and to bend it, right, to try and get these nice sharp bends by hand, which is very difficult, we found if we could put it on the box here, and then it actually has a lip over, so you can bend it over and, you know, past 90 degrees so it would spring back to 90. Worked amazing. But yeah, here's the other side. We went with a pretty neutral gray to try and tie it into the rock, the concrete, and everything like that. Here's the back side of the house. But yeah, we'll get the decks on in the next video. Thanks for watching 80 Acres. See you next time.